Welcome back to Proverbs 31 in the 21st. Today I'm going to be talking through some of my pregnancy favorites by trimester. So we're going to go through the first, second, third, and fourth trimesters. So the heart behind this video is to help other moms, especially those first-time moms. I know that there's so much marketing out there that it's hard to tell what you really need and what you don't. There's lots of people trying to sell you stuff, and I know for me as a first-time mom, it was so helpful to have life experience from other moms to be able to hear what they really liked and what was worth my money and effort. So let's get into it. Probably the number one item is a good water bottle. I personally like one that's gonna seal because I have a toddler running around. My main issue in my first trimester is I do get nauseous a lot. So I have two nausea remedies, two nausea remedies that have really worked for me. The first are these ginger chews. They're the Prince of Peace. I got them off Amazon. They come in these little individual packets and they're like gummy. I found that those really helped me a lot. The other nausea thing that I've used, and you can tell I've had them a while. It's my second pregnancy, they're called C-bands. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see the title or not, but C-bands, as in SEA-BAND. And what these are is they are little bands that have this little pressure point on the inside, and you do like 2 fingers down and then you put it on your wrist like this. And there's like a dip in your wrist and you stick it right in there, 3 fingers down. Sorry, I said 2, but I think it's 3. And then you just wear them on both wrists. I'm not gonna put them both on. And that pressure point, for whatever reason, helps you feel less nauseous. I've used these on car rides. I just wear them during the day and it does make a big difference for me. The last thing for the first trimester that really helps me when I'm really feeling nauseous is to snack almost constantly. Just having a little something, whether that's crackers or carrots or a granola bar, or I really like to sip on a smoothie almost continuously. That really helps too. Or just if I don't feel like eating anything, normally a smoothie is like a solid, okay, I can get this down. And so my first pregnancy, it was really easy to just make myself a smoothie, right? That was fine. Or to have my husband make me one. But the second time around, we were way more busy. We had our little guy running around. So I ended up buying the Naked brand of smoothies. It's a pretty clean brand. I really like their Green Machine smoothie. It's my favorite. And I would just, drink a glass of the Naked smoothies. And that would really help me a lot, help me feel better. The other thing you're gonna need to start doing in your first trimester is taking a prenatal. And I struggled to swallow a pill in my first trimester. I don't really like pills no matter what. So I got myself gummies. So these are the Smarty Pants Prenatal Plus. I've found that my my OBGYN liked this. She felt like it had everything in it that it needed to have. So yeah, if you're having trouble keeping your prenatal down, my recommendation would be to try a gummy. Second trimester, this is when you start feeling better, your energy kind of starts coming back up, your belly starts to show, but you're not quite there yet, but it's a good time to lay the groundwork for your third trimester. So one of my favorite items overall in pregnancy is my Hiccapop wedge pillow. So instead of buying like a great big pregnancy pillow, I sleep with my Hiccapop and a pillow between my legs, and that's pretty much it. So This was actually recommended to me by a fellow teacher during my first during my first pregnancy. She told me that she never got any stretch marks, and she thinks it's because she used the wedge pillow. And I was like, no stretch marks, that sounds great. So I got one, and I also did not have any stretch marks my first pregnancy. And so far, I don't have any this one either. And I think it has a lot to do with the belly being supported. Like when you're laying on your side and all that weight is pulling on your skin, it's definitely not good for stretch marks. So this is definitely something to try to attempt to prevent stretch marks. And also it just feels like the support on your belly just feels better. It comes with a little carrying case. I really like the size of this too. Like for traveling or just in general having around, it's not nearly as problematic as a pregnancy pillow. Another thing is to start belly care. I know they say that stretch marks are genetic, but I have stretch marks other places and I don't have stretch marks on my belly. So I don't know if maybe it's genetic, I don't know. But I do take care of my belly. I do moisturize it a bunch. I'd like to think that it makes a difference. I don't know. It might not, but if it does, I feel like you may as well try all the things, right? So I use Lush Cosmetics. This one is the Biomic. I know I used a different one in my last pregnancy, but they're really nice at Lush. If you just walk in and you're like, hi, I'm pregnant and I'm looking for something to try to prevent stretch marks for my belly, they'll be like, well, we can't guarantee, but here are some things to try. So I think this one is actually firm support for all cup sizes. So this is like supposed to help with your lady bits. To keep the delicate skin of your décolleté smooth and dewy. So I use it all over because I grow everywhere when I'm pregnant. So, and then the next thing for your second trimester is to start a stretching and like pelvic floor workout routine. So I can try to create a Pinterest board of some of like the really good stretches and things that I have used. I will also link Yoga with Adrienne has a prenatal video that has some really good stretches and strengthening stuff in it. So I will try to remember to link that video below. It's pretty short. I think it's only like 20 minutes. And if you stretch every single day, you are going to feel so much better. This pregnancy, I've been going to a yoga class twice a week, and it makes such a huge difference. There was one week where the instructor had to cancel the class and I was in so much pain by the time I went the next time. So it really does make a difference in how comfortable you're gonna feel in your pregnancy. And they also say that it helps you with your labor and delivery. The last thing that I would recommend for your second trimester is to start building your maternity wardrobe. You don't need a ton of maternity clothes. Some women actually don't buy any at all. But I do find that having a few pairs of maternity leggings, making sure that my shirts are gonna fit over my belly. So I just buy like a few extra long tank tops to wear, and then I like layer over that in the colder weather. Those are like the two things that I would say probably I would take the time to invest in. And if you start early in your second trimester, then you can do things like be on the lookout at thrift stores or looking online on ThredUp or waiting for sales. Whereas if you're like, oh my gosh, my belly doesn't fit in any of my clothes, it's gonna be harder to have do that in a less expensive way. I actually filmed a maternity capsule wardrobe video for you guys. So if you want to go back and watch that, I will try to remember to leave it linked below so you can watch that if you want to have an idea of the clothing that I keep on hand while I'm pregnant. Now on to the third trimester. So this is when, first of all, you're starting to get pretty big and you might be getting uncomfortable. experience things like acid reflux and maybe hip pain. Although if you are stretching and doing exercises, I think you'll find that you won't be as uncomfortable as you would imagine. But so for acid reflux, I've not found good solutions other than to try to figure out what foods are kind of triggering that. For me, it's fruit juices, tomatoes, like sourdough can even, for whatever reason. This time I'm in my 3rd trimester in the fall, and pumpkin, unfortunately, is also causing some of that. So I've had to nix the pumpkin, which has been sad, but it's worth it to sleep at night, is all I'm gonna say. So that's kind of the first thing. Next is slip-on shoes. You kind of get to the point where you have to hold your breath in order to put your shoes on. I have maintained some really good mobility in this pregnancy so far because of that yoga class that I was talking about, and definitely stretching and doing the exercises will help you maintain mobility, but still, your belly is in the way. So some slip-on shoes are great. So the 2 kinds that I have is the Skechers slip-ins. You can tell these have been well loved. My husband bought these for me for my birthday during my first pregnancy. I have them in 2 colors. I have them in cream and I have them in black. And then the other one I have is a pair of sandals. So I have a pair of Birkenstock sandals that I wear as well. Now in the fall, I will start wearing my Chelsea boots as well when it starts getting a little bit chilly, because I don't have to lace those up, but they do require a little bit more effort than those 2 options. Okay, so in your 3rd trimester, by the end, you're really prepping for labor. So obviously continuing with your stretches and your workouts, and then doing things like I do the like all natural gimmicky stuff that they're like, well, we don't really know if it works. Well, I do them. I don't know. It gives me some sense of control, maybe. I'm not sure. But so here's raspberry leaf tea. At the very beginning of my 3rd trimester, I start eating dates. So this time around, instead of just eating the dates straight, because I found that I struggled with that, I bought myself some RX bars from Costco, and this is how I'm getting my dates this time around. So I've seen where women buy the dates and then make themselves little snacks with like peanut butter in them or whatever. I mean, dates kind of have a caramely taste if you combine them with other things correctly. So there are a lot of really good recipes out there on the internet, on Pinterest, on YouTube. So I would definitely take a look to see, find a way that you really enjoy your dates and then just eat them that way. So far, the RX bars have been working really well for me this time around. And then the final thing, and again, like I'm not a doctor or anything. These are things that, like, you know, if you ask your OB, she's going to be like, I don't know. But this is the thing that put me in labor with my son. I was 42 weeks and we had done all the things. Like I was having my tea, I was on the ball, I was curb walking. We were, you know, having private time a lot. We were doing everything. And I mean, even like I started using my breast pump to try to like get the oxytocin going. Nothing was working. I was overdue. They were going to induce me. And the last night, Alec and I finally went and got this evening primrose oil. They come in little capsules, and I'd heard about this, but I was like, that sounds so weird. Like, I don't want to do that. But basically, you take this little capsule and you put it up your lady parts. And that's what ended up actually doing it for me. So could I have gone into labor without it? Maybe, but it seemed to be the trigger. So, and then my last item, I'll have to like insert footage of it because it's so big. So here is the yoga ball I was talking about. It's pretty good size, probably comes up a little bit beyond my knees. So for you to be able to sit on, and again, there's a lot of videos and stuff out there about different ways to use it to help prep for labor. And again, if you're having like back pain, hip pain, that kind of stuff, sitting on your ball and moving on the ball helps to kind of like stretch everything. They also say that like those exercises help baby kind of descend where they're supposed to. So that's everything for the part where the baby is in your belly. But there is another trimester that so many people forget about, and honestly, as a first-time mom, I did not think about taking care of myself in the 4th trimester postpartum the way that I should have. And I was so lucky that I had women in my life who had recently had babies, so they knew all of the things that were out there, and they went and bought me that stuff because I didn't ask for any of it. I didn't realize that I was gonna need it. I just had like giant pads and I was like, that'll be fine. No, you need all the things. Okay, so I'm gonna talk through some of my favorite postpartum items as well. 4th trimester, let's talk about taking care of our downstairs. So a few things that I like to have on hand: the Freedom Mom disposable underwear. I'm gonna try and pull one out for you guys so you can kind of see what they're like. Okay, so they're literally like boy shorts, but they're so stretchy. I just really liked how this, I felt so secure, like it was holding everything in, because you feel, I don't know how to put this, like you just feel really soft and loose, and like things are just out of control down there. So this really made me feel a lot more secure, and I wasn't worried about it getting stained. I'm even gonna take a pair to the hospital and wear a pair to come home. So I'll use what they have in the hospital while I'm in the hospital, but then on the drive home and everything, I'm gonna bring one of these. Okay, and then the other Freedom Mom item that I really like, because no matter what, you're gonna be sore down there. So the Freedom Mom ice packs, I would say, are an absolute essential. So you just like take it out of the container, you like fold it up until it like pops, makes like a crack noise, and then you shake it up, and then you put it in your boy shorts. It has like a sticky side that you like put in your boy shorts, and then the next item you put on top of it, which is Tuck's cooling pads. Kind of layer those on top, and then I spray Dermablast, which I don't have somehow. I don't know. It's somewhere. I'll find it before it's baby time. But I spray the Dermablast like directly on my skin. But that's kind of like my 3-layer thing for like the first at least week, if not 2 weeks. At least with my first baby, that's how it went. So the other thing that I like to have on hand is I do purchase Depends. And I keep those for nighttime because I really feel like, first of all, like I don't care if you can see them at night, compared to like these are a little bit smoother during the day, so they're easier to disguise if you have to like go somewhere or something. But I also felt like I wasn't as concerned about leakage with those at night. So that's another recommendation. Okay, so that is like postpartum Lady Bits care. Now let's talk about breastfeeding. So the number one item, if you do not get anything else but you want to breastfeed, this item is the only reason why I made it. It's the only reason why I made it. So, and that is the Silverettes And you want the name brand Silverettes. They're not cheap. They're like $50 or $60, but they are worth every penny. So they're just these little silver cups made of real silver, and you put these over your nipples. So you put like the nipple cream on, put this over your nipples. And I had one nursing session where I did not put these on afterwards during those like first 2 weeks where baby's learning how to breastfeed, you're learning how to breastfeed, your nipples are learning how to breastfeed. And it was so painful without these. I could not believe it. But with these, the pain was very minimal, if not non-existent. So it still pinched a little bit when baby would first latch before he kind of learned what to do. But this minimized my pain so much. Number one item, must have. Another thing that I really like to have for breastfeeding is a Haka. It's a silicone breast pump. Does it have the name Haka on it somewhere? Oh yeah, the lid does. So I would like squeeze it and then like suction it on my boob on the opposite breast from the one that baby was nursing on, and it would just catch any extra letdown on the other side. And then I would take that, put it in a baggie, put it in the freezer. Okay, so something else that I'm gonna take with me to the hospital and that I'm gonna wear is a belly band. And I think you're supposed to wait 24 hours after giving birth before you start using it, but like that 24-hour mark is where you wanna start. And I also felt like it helped like my uterus shrink and do all that kind of stuff. So it's just supposed to kind of support your body while it's trying to pull your abs back together and shrink your uterus. So would highly recommend this as well. Let's talk about the breast pump that I liked last time around. I actually found a channel that reviews lots of different breast pumps, and that's how I decided on these, which are the Zomi, I don't know, I can't remember the word for these. Anyway, they go in your bra. So these are truly hands-free, and I don't have to wear a special bra or anything with them. My favorite part about this pump is that it has different settings for how it expresses. So like a typical breast pump, you can adjust the speed, but you can't adjust the cadence. So it's just like consistent. This is how long, this is how strong, but that's not how a baby nurses. So a real baby kind of like nibbles three times ish. So they kind of like have a little suck, and then they have a deep like real draw that they do on you, and that's just to like stimulate your nipples so that they get a good drink of milk. And this breast pump actually mimics that. So it has a setting where it does that, where it has like 3 like gentler pulls, and then it has like the big deep pull that you would think of for a breast pump. And I found that I produced a lot more milk with that because it was more familiar. If I can find kind of their like current or link their website, I will try to do that. None of this video is sponsored. My channel's not big enough for that yet. So this is genuinely just my recommendations, things that I have really used while pregnant and postpartum. I'm gonna try to link this stuff for you, so if you're looking for these things, it'll be easy for you to find. And I hope that this video is helpful for you as well. If you are a first-time mom, congratulations. I am so excited for you. It is transformational in a way that cannot be described. If there's any way that I can help you, follow me on Instagram. You can DM me there and we can have conversations. If you have questions or concerns, I can try to point you in some kind of a direction. This is only my second baby, so obviously I don't have all of the life experience, but I have done this once before and I'm doing it a second time, and it is really hard but also really enjoyable and really rewarding. Yes, is your body definitely gonna go through it in pregnancy and labor and delivery? Yes, but we get to partner with Christ and kind of experience in a way what he experienced. You know, we're giving life through our own suffering and brokenness, and that is sanctifying in a whole new way. And I would just encourage you to look to Christ and his experience and the way he handled things for yourself as you walk through this. Thank you all so much for joining me. I hope that this video was informational and helpful to you. If you have questions or if I forget to link something, definitely comment down below. Like and subscribe if you want to see more pregnancy and mom content. There's a lot more of that on the way. Thanks. See you next time.